Sofiju, Ishaga and Ajuon area of Lagos State were on Thursday afternoon sent into a panic as a rancorous explosion rocked the neighborhood. What started out as a wet and rather calm day quickly turned into a frenzy at about 3:30 p.m. when a loaded gas tanker exploded around the Iju Hill axis of Ajuon Road. Some witnesses say that at least one person died in the blast. We're going to get clarifications about that much later. And that was coming just moments when the nation is trying to come to terms with a similar carnage that left almost 30 people, including students, dead in Lokoja. Data feeds are coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms on channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channels, where you can follow us right now on Apple, Android, Fire and Roku TV as well. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV, use the hashtag State of the Nation and be part of the show. 5 persons have been confirmed killed in an attack at a relaxation center in Kaduna Vung district of Jos South local government area of Plateau State on Thursday night, raising concerns of a reprisal. Now the police is warning against such and has promised to capture the perpetrators. We'll speak to the Commissioner for Information in just a moment. State of the Nation starts right now. Welcome everyone, I am Gimba Umar and this is State of the Nation. 5 persons were today killed in Kaduna Vung area of Jos, the Plateau State capital. The Police Commissioner, Edward Ebuka, told us in Jos that the police are already on the trail of the perpetrators, following tips and information gathered from the residents in what has turned out to be another killing after years of cessation of killings that characterize areas like Riom, Kuru, Du villages. The Police Commissioner Ebuka spoke to us in Jos. Let's take a listen.
We have an idea of the cause because we've been meeting with stakeholders in this community for the past 6 weeks over isolated incidents of killing. And like we want to impress it on them again, tit for tat. An eye for an eye will get the whole community blind. I want to leave it at that, but I want to assure the good people of Plateau State that this incident is an isolated incident confined to this cave home, and no meaning should be read into it. We are after the perpetrators, after the sponsors. This will not be another incident where the perpetrators will go scot-free.
The Commissioner for Police in Jos, the Plateau State capital. But however, earlier today, angry youths, they did barricade the roads in that area and vandalize the police station right there, destroying the fence, breaking the windows and burning motorcycles belonging to the personnel and vandalizing office equipment at the station there. Let's get a broader perspective on the issues from the Plateau State Commissioner for Information, Dan Manjang. Many thanks indeed for coming on State of the Nation. We understand how complex the diversities of the Plateau, especially Jos South, can be with tribal differences, religious differences, ethnic differences, if you will, and so on. But why did the youths attack the police station? Can we start from that very point? Why did they attack the police station today?
Yeah, well, if you ask me to say why they attacked the police station today, it's as simple as the fact that they are irate, and I wouldn't be able to be in a position to say why they would have attacked the police station. Probably it could be because they are thinking that the police is supposed to secure civil society, and they may not have been living up to expectation. That is by their estimation, but not by the estimation of government. Having said that, it is quite wrong for the youths to have attacked the police station. If you are aggrieved in any way, there are many channels that you can send your grievances. You can employ the traditional means by going to the traditional rulers who are well respected. You can appeal to your legislators at the local, at the state, and at the national level, and they know what to do. But to take the laws into your hands, it doesn't make sense. Two wrongs do not make a right. So whatever justification they have for attacking the police station, they are not right to have done that.
When we heard the police commissioner, Mr. Ebuka, talking, he said that they're after the perpetrators. But at this point, have you been able to establish the cause of deaths of the 5 persons that were killed in Kevom?
The police commissioner should have been able to do that because they are investigating. As I talked to you, I wouldn't say that I have established the cause of death. The cause of death, of course, you say it is an attack, which is an attack. It has been there are spades of attacks, one too many recently. And let me correct an impression. You mentioned Do. There has been no attack in Do area, but the attack has been in Barkin Ladi local government area, and that is what the situation has been, but not in Do area. So the commissioner of police has said the reasons for why there has been the attack, and so we leave it at the level of the commissioner of police.
Okay. You and I know how just the Plateau State capital is. I've lived there for over 30 years, so I have a very good understanding of the relationship between along tribal lines. But the fears in Jos is that reprisals, when they take place in situations like this one, it can really be costly. We have seen it time and again play out between warring factions when it comes to land disputes, especially between the Birom tribes and the Fulanese. Sometimes it cuts across religious lines. Did this killing fall within the purview of any of these broad lines?
Well, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't say that it was within the purview of these broad lines. But it is an issue of man's inhumanity to man, and that's all. Human being by nature, and for what we are doing now, I have said it times without number, that there are crisis merchants. There are people that benefit from this. Some are known, some may not be known, but there are beneficiaries. Otherwise, why would this spate of killings continue? For example, there are people that sell arms from the local to the international community. If there is no crisis, where will they sell their arms? And so there are people that are crisis merchants that are beneficiaries. And so that could be the reason for why they will not want the place to be peaceful. They will not want the place to be secured. And those are the lines. But to isolate the fact that there's a particular group of people that wants to be annihilated is not totally going to be true. There could be reasons for that, but there are different other reasons for why this crisis has continued to perpetrate.
What measures is the state government putting in place to ensure that reprisals don't happen?
Yes, the most important thing is that the government, as I'm talking to you right now, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bakola, along the governor of the state, the security meeting, and right now they are in that meeting, and the security chiefs are briefing him about what is happening in the state. There's a lot that has been done, and is being done. We are intensifying community dialogue with the warring communities. We are intensifying the strengthening of Operation Rainbow. And Plateau State is advocating for community policing. And we are also intensifying our surveillance. If you see what's happening, the Nigerian Air Force, the state government came up with a peace building agency, which is working on community relations activities. There are so many other NGOs and civil liberties, or civil society groups that are working on peace matters on the plateau. The Nigerian Air Force has a station in Kerang, in Mangu local government, and the Nigerian Air Force is doing quite well in that direction. We have also
do you see,
a mobile barrack.
If I may just tip in with regards to these particular attacks, Do you see the topography in Cavom as a challenge? Because we know that that area has got hills and, stretches of barren land. Do you think that the topography could be a challenge to effectively have the security forces to move in there and prevent any recurrence?
No, yeah, you have said that you have lived on the plateau for about 30 years now, but the topography is not a challenge in any way. If you know Cavom very well, it's situated in the heart of so many federal institutions, like the NVRI is within the vicinity, the the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies is within the vicinity. There's also the Soil Conservation School. So the topography is in no way a challenge. Where the topography is a challenge is in areas like Basa in Miango area, in areas like Fan area, in areas like Barkin Ladi area, Kurafos area. But for Kevom, the topography is not a challenge in any way.
I'm surprised, though, that we have come to this point in Jos that has experienced, relative calm over the past years.
Like I said, it is an unfortunate development. Government is taken aback by this kind of thinking, by this kind of actions, by these dastard acts. It's surprising. It's strange, but because we have continued to live with one another, and we as plateau people must learn to live with one another, must learn to eschew our prejudices. The religious institutions have a very, very serious role to play. The traditional institutions have a role to play. The political class has a role to play. And so when all this come together, the situation, the better for all of us. Because there is nobody that wins in a crisis situation. There's nobody that wins, no matter, you may be thinking that for economic reasons you have an edge, but you may not have an edge because you may know how a crisis begins, but you may not know how it ends.
So at this point now, it's really confusing for a lot of people who want to try as much as possible to stay safe, considering this killings that have happened now. A lot of frayed nerves happening now. The police commissioner himself says that tit for tat, in his words, eye for an eye, will get the community blind. Are you having any advocacy programs in Cavom such that frayed nerves will be further doused?
As a matter of fact, I would tell you that it has been quite a while that a thing like that has happened in Cavom. It is in the past, I would say conservatively, 7 to 8 years. It's a long time that we have had that kind of situation in Cavom. But what I can tell you now is that the security is on top of the situation. We take the commissioner of police we take him for his words, and the peace building agencies and all these organizations, civil society groups that have been talking about that are working for peace are going to step in. And it's not only Cavom. There has to be, because we have an early warning signs at the Operation Rainbow premises. Every security apparatus, everybody that has to do with security must put hands on deck. Security is not a matter of government alone. It's a matter of government and the individuals. Like I keep saying, security, government never gets killed. It's people that get killed. And so the community must live up to expectation, must come up together and live with one another. They must be determined to live together.
That's a good place to let it rest. Most sincerely, thank you for talking to us, Dan Banjang, the Commissioner for Information, Plateau State. Now, when State of the Nation returns, over 50 injured in Ijuajuon gas tanker explosion. Stay with us. Welcome back to State of the Nation. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, has revealed the cause of the explosion that hit the Ifako-Ijaye area of Lagos State, according to LASEMA Director of Operations, Olatunde Akinsoya. The explosion happened after a dispute between a truck driver and his supervisor at the Manor gas plant. Akinsoya said that the emergency agency received a distress call at about 3 p.m., indicating that an LP gas explosion occurred along Iju-Ishaga Road. Now, Ibrahim Farin Loye is the NEMA coordinator, Lagos Territorial Ward Office. He was on ground zero when this all happened. This is day one after that explosion happened. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us, by the way. But this is day one after this has happened. What has investigation revealed further?
Well, from yesterday, we had a sort of preliminary investigation, but we didn't want to conclude on that because of the nature of the cause. But today, we were able to get representatives of the plants, the gas plants, especially the Gas Marketers Association of Nigeria. We had this chairman with us throughout today in the course of investigation. It wasn't a sort of dispute or controversy. What really happened, two drivers were involved. The first driver that came in that brought in the gas, I think traded the level of part of the gas that was supplied. According to the chairman, there was sort of the drivers of the plant, of the tanker, is not their employee. They only engage the driver. So along the line, conveying the gas to their place, I think he sold part of it. So the quantity of what is supposed to supply
Fell short.
So the owner of the Central gas plant got to know at the point of that delivery. So he got to know the shortage. So he now denied receiving that quantity. When he asked for reweighing of the supplied gas, the first driver ran away. So in the process of, they now sent another driver to take the gas back for reweighing. It was from there. Now, the road where the gas plant was situated was not that properly aligned road. So as it was trying to cross over to the main road, there was a little bit of the bridge. So a sort of hook hit up the bridge space. So there was a pull-off along the tank. That was where the leakage started from. When the leakage started from that, instead of the driver to stop and call emergency workers, according to eyewitnesses around that place, they were trying to make efforts in putting out the fire. That was when the first explosion happened. And the first explosion was not as serious as that.
The second one.
It was the second one that blew the whole vehicle, which went as far as almost 5 meters away.
You know, the concern for people now is that this has happened once too many. We remember the incident that happened at Abule Ado. It was also has to do with similar hydrocarbons like this one. How do we prevent casualties, these heavy casualties we usually have, especially within that axis? It seems to be perennial time and again. What must be done?
Well, we thank God this one happened, and so far so good. As of today, we no deaths, to the best of our knowledge, has been recorded. If there's any death, the hospital management will make statement on that. But the rumor that 3 people have died and the drivers were involved, the rumor was debunked by the associations that all their men are still intact. And the family member, the community has not revealed anything yet. Well, about this, one, information management, then secondly, safety management among the drivers. they need to manage the safety of their vehicles or truck is very, very important. From what we have seen, the first video that came out when the tanker caught fire, we need to train all the truck drivers, either the gas or AGO or PMS. We need proper training on the way to handle emergency cases, especially information sharing, calling emergency responders on time.
Do you think that the proximity of people living within those areas to such facilities should be readdressed by the state government or even at a larger scale, but even by the federal government?
Well, it's not only the state governments. It was one of the points I raised with the Marketers Association today. One, when you look at safety measures, where you have large number of people, especially markets very close to it, because the distance between the plant market with the market, gas plants company and the market is just less than 10 meters. So issuing certificate for mounting such things is what the agency at the federal level we are looking at.
So people will easily ask, how did they even get the license to establish a plant within the community where people are staying? I mean, the market is just less than 10 meters away.
Well, those are issues with...
Are they fraudulent? Are they fraudulent actions?
Well,
how did that come about?
This will be handled at the federal level by the National Emergency Management Agency Management, because they are thinking, because it's the same thing happened just 2 days ago in Kogi. So the agency had expressed willingness to convoke a meeting of all marketers, the DPR, and the gas company of Nigeria. So when they get to that level, all those issues will be looked into and addressed. Because it was one of the things I raised between the chairman of the Southwest Association of Gas Marketers, and he was trying to give an excuse. I said, no, there is no excuse. When you have this situation, there must be a right of way or distance that must be created between densely populated area and gas. They are talking of proximity. I said, there is nothing like proximity within this area, especially when it gets to the level of gas plants.
You know, not to make...
And apart from the markets, very close to that place, we have pipelines around that place. So if not for the effective management of that incident yesterday, the petroleum pipeline will have been cut if action was not taken. Remember, it was what happened, throughout what happened, nothing happened at the gas plant premises. It was outside. So if it had been within the premises,
it would have been worse.
It would have been worse.
But not to take away the standards for granted. You could have water tankers. I mean, those who peddle water here and there, you could have their tanks leaking. It's common sight to see, unfortunately, in present-day Nigeria. But for gas to leak, that is totally unheard of.
No, it wasn't leaking. It wasn't leaking.
So clarify that for us.
When it was leaving the premise, when it was going out to reweigh, to certify whether the first driver had sold part of the quantity, it was to settle whether there was shortage of the quantity or not. So in the process of taking the tanker out for reweighing in another place, that was what happened. The road was not a tarred road, and it was trying to climb into a tarred road. So there was a bridge. It was on that bridge, something among the hook, maybe the valve.
Will sanctions be meted out?
Sanctions, well, the DPR is there. The NOSDRA is there. They were there. The safety commissions came in there. So appropriate action will be taken by designated agencies who are supposed to enforce.
That's a good place to let it rest. I must thank you sincerely, Ibrahim Farin Loye, the NEMA Coordinator, Lagos Territorial Office. Many thanks indeed for clarifying this, some of these grey areas that had to do with the Ajuon gas tanker explosion. Many thanks for talking to us on State of the Nation. And to you for being part of the show, many thanks indeed for watching as well. I'm Gimba Umar. Bye for now.